So here we have the SPSS, and as you can see it has two views. One is the data view while the other is the variable view. So to enter the data into the SPSS we need to go into the variable view, and we can enter the data according to the type of the data. As I mentioned previously, we have four types of data. One is the nominal data, other is the ordinal, then interval and ratio data. So here we practice on entering different types of data into the SPSS. So starting from the nominal data, as I mentioned previously, the nominal data is the simple categorical data which has no order or distance or interval or absolute value. So gender is the example of the nominal data. So here in the name we write the name of the variable, that is gender, and then we decide whether it's a numeric or a string data. As it's a numeric data, so we click on the numeric. Normally the SPSS by default here mention the numeric. So the data is numeric, and here we write the label. Let's suppose within your questionnaire you have given the following statement about the gender, that is, what is your gender. So after writing the label, then we enter the values. Now here you have to decide that what kind of coding you do. As this is male and female, so we can enter the binary codes. That is, let's suppose 0 for the male while 1 for the female. So after adding this we click on the OK, and then we come to the measure. As it's a nominal, so we click on the nominal. So this is how we have entered the nominal data into the SPSS. You go into the data view. Here you can enter the data questionnaire wise. Like let's suppose you have collected a data from 50 respondents. So the first respondent is either a male or a female. Let's suppose if it is a male, you enter here 0. So this would be your first entry. So now let's come to the ordinal data. Let's suppose you have the questionnaire on motivation. So the first one statement S1, and again it's numeric. So the S1 says, are you motivated? So here, let's suppose you are entering the Likert scale, you are following the Likert scale. So Likert scale is on the quantum of 1 to 5. So here 5 is for strongly agree. Since you are measuring the motivation level, so that's why you enter the strongly agree and code it as a 5. Then the 4 for agree, then the 3 for neutral, and 2 for disagree, and 1 for strongly disagree. You can even revise this coding, but it depends on what you are measuring. And then here you choose the ordinal. So let's suppose you also want to enter an interval data. Let's suppose the Now let's come to entering the interval data. I mentioned previously that we have data that has a interval is called actually the interval data. So let's suppose age. A respondent's age is a typical interval data. So here in the name I mention the age, and then here what the label you want to give. Let's suppose you have asked in your questionnaire a question, what is your age? So here there are two options. Either you directly write the age of the person, let's suppose 22 years, or let's suppose 30 years. The first one respondent, which has the age of 30. So this is the first way. The other way is that you code the data, the age related data, and you code it in a such way that you make different intervals, different age categories. So let's suppose one for the age category of 20 to 25 years, two for the age category of 26 to 30 years, three for the age category of 31 to 35 years, and so on. So here you mention the scale. The SPSS by default has three options. One is the ordinal, other is the nominal, and the scale. So the interval data is here mirrored as a scale. So here in the data view, you can mention one or two or three depending on whatsoever is the age of the respondent. Now come to the ratio data. Let's suppose weight. Weight is the ratio data. The example of the ratio data is the weight. So you are also measuring the weight of a person. So here in the label you write what is your body weight. Again, you have two options, either mentioning the weight directly here, let's suppose 70, that is 70 kg, or the other option is that you code it. So the one is for the quantum of, let's suppose 50 to 60 kg, and 2 is for 61 to 70 kg, and so on. So depending on what the respondent has mentioned in the questionnaire, you choose the code. Let's suppose the respondent has mentioned that his weight is, let's suppose, within the weight category of 60 to 70 kg. So you write here the 2. And here, this was about the ordinal scale. So we have the quantum of 1 to 5. So let's suppose the respondent has clicked on strongly agree. So you mention here 5. So this is how you can